Welcome to 40 and Fabulous.
Yes.
So joining us with MC Keisha is Ingrid Sevieux from Sevieux.
Hey, welcome, Ingrid.
Thank you. And I have Tasha Bell from Ultimate Hair World.
Wonderful.
And this episode today is Grown Folks Talk. This is women on the other side of 40. And we're just going to kick it off with various topics. And without further ado, who wants a WAP? Raise your hand.
We want the WAP.
We want the WAP. Please tell me you know what a WAP is.
I don't know. I'm sorry. That's why I'm like.
She just
Yeah.
She just
Please explain.
Okay, so prior to us rolling, we talked about, keeping it lubricated and moist down there. I think Cardi B turned the coin WAP. And you can put your imagination to what the initials mean. WAP.
We'll let you know at the end.
Right.
Because I'm still puzzled.
We're trying to keep it still kind of PG for people who are.
Once we hit 40, I don't know about y'all, my sex drive went through the roof.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Up?
Yes, it
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Mine went down.
I was
Mine went
like-
down. Mine went down.
No.
Mine went like, okay, where is he?
Really?
Every single, I was told my OBGYN and said, what's wrong with you?
Wow. So, are we discussing menopause?
Well, we jumped into the WAP because Halle Berry recently has a lubricant line that she's promoting because she's talking about it.
Right.
Yeah, she's
Well,
talking about going through menopause,
women
right?
of a certain age, we're getting older. I mean, we're not 20 and 30 anymore, but how our bodies are changing.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to coin that and start with that conversation because we can always, dive deep into menopause, but just acknowledging our bodies changing. Like,
Yes.
Tasha, you mentioned something about your body changing and how are you coping? How are you dealing with it?
It's funny you asked me. I just recently did this week some research, like really sat down by my computer and started doing some research on hormone replacement therapy.
HRT,
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
HRT. Right. Yeah, because it's really taking me. It's taking me.
Yeah. Well, no one prepares you. I mean, do y'all remember your mother saying anything?
Absolutely not.
No.
I remember my mother saying, "Oh, I'm having my own hot summer," and I would look at her and see where her attitude changed a little bit. I swore my grandmother hated girls.
Wow.
I was like, she don't like girls, but she was always very irritable. But she was going through the change of life. Yes.
Ingrid, what about you? Changes? Did your mom have a conversation about it?
My mom was always an angry woman. She still is a good woman, but an angry woman. So we now knowing, like now me taking a lot of what she went through with thyroid, and I didn't know what she was dealing with. Right. So now I know our moods do change. And I understand why she was always so angry. Right. She was always at Jacqueline, which was like this, it was like a blink back in the days. So she was always there, always on a diet.
Yeah.
Right. But she didn't understand why she was gaining the weight.
Right.
And that was making her more mad, because she was always on a diet.
Yes.
But they didn't teach her. They didn't tell her.
Yes.
And now with me, I don't know. Some days I think I'm going through menopause. Some days I don't think I'm going through menopause. But I got more energy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm at the gym like 5 days a week.
Wow.
Whoa.
No, but it's an escape. It's an
Right.
escape for me, and that's my personal space.
Right.
And I've been through that thyroid journey where I don't want my thyroids are no longer working.
Right.
I'm on a pill every day, and my weight is a big factor. Like
Yeah.
if I don't work out, I could look at bread, I'm going to gain weight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now I'm like, okay, I got to do this mentally as well as physically to maintain what I want.
Yes. I do see a big difference with turning 40 and going through menopause. The weight gain is easy.
Yeah.
It's like sniff something and you just gain 10 pounds. But I think the key to it, like you said, working out and lifting weights.
Yes.
For sure.
And
Lifting
understanding what hormones do in your body. The
Yes.
importance of, we're losing estrogen. So the importance of putting that estrogen back, whether it's through HRT or through through foods we're eating.
Or even for me, I never lost estrogen really, and so I would have these nightmare moments of suddenly having a period that came out of nowhere, and it felt like an alien took over my body.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's like you go to the doctors and they're like, I don't know, and I'm seriously trying to figure out your hormones, but our hormones change like literally hour by hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
we wake up.
are we encouraging estrogen therapy? Because I still, I hear it often, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not sure if I should do it.
I think it's like to each his own if
Yeah.
you do the research, because I was told, like I was telling MC that when I went to the gynecologist and I asked her for, I didn't know it was called HRT. I just asked her, is there something that you can give me? She said, no, just write it out. And I was like, write it out.
No. This is based on some old medical study that was done many years ago in a large population of women where they were using a hormone replacement that was made from animals. But now we have hormone replacements that are made from natural places. There's also natural things that we can explore, natural types of soy that can give us hormones. Everything out there is foods that we can do, behaviors we can do, anything to help us with our estrogen.
Ingrid mentioned
Juices, watermelon, okra, as well.
Flaxseed.
It helps. It really does. I've been doing the watermelon and I've seen a difference in certain things.
Right, good.
Definitely.
Because when we start losing estrogen, we are at risk of more heart problems, more bone problems, and also too, the vaginal dryness, and that's like no fun.
Right. From what I researched, because estrogen, we're made up of, as women, we have more estrogen. You have estrogen receptors, I think it said, throughout your whole body.
Yeah.
Including your joints, everything.
Right.
So you will feel it throughout your whole body.
Okay.
Like it'll affect, like you said, cardiovascular, including the brain fog.
Right.
Okay, so how has menopause affected us with our relationship with other people? Because I feel as though that I'm like more short wired. Like you have a certain tolerance.
For sure.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not tolerating this today.
Right.
Not today, devil. No, take that over there. I am not tolerating that.
I used to say it came with age. Like the older I get, I'm not standing for it. But
right.
It probably has to do with my hormones changing.
Right, and the maturity level. Because I think now you realize, okay, you're out of this childbearing age and you're into the full womanhood.
Right.
This is like the last stop.
Right. So do not play with me.
Yes. So I feel as though my tolerance level is like very short.
I've experienced that too.
Yeah.
My tolerance level is very short. And so what I do is when I see someone's probably taking me there, I pause. And I'll just look at you. And I'm just looking at you. But it's not it's just I'm calming myself down because I know what's next.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but to your point, because I'm really a calm person.
Right.
But yeah.
Now
I'll just look at you like
you smile.
Okay. So I'm thinking in my brain like I'm calm.
Well, it's almost like you're having that monthly period that shows up emotionally instead of in your uterus letting go of something that was going to make a baby. You're now having this emotional moment. It's like, why am I feeling like this?
Right.
And it's for no reason.
Right. I find myself checking out. Like if it's not where I want to be, I just walk away.
Yeah.
And they're like, Keisha, I was talking to you. I'm like, bye.
That's another way.
At work, check out.
I think I'm like the complete opposite at this point.
Really?
Honestly,
Do tell.
yes.
What are you doing?
I've always been a person who's been outspoken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I think I'm more outspoken. I'm like coming into myself.
Okay.
I love
Right?
that.
I talk to myself and I also respond to myself and I live in my little bubble.
Right.
Okay.
Now this bubble is like burst open and I want to talk to everyone.
Really?
I want to talk to everyone. And I have more boundaries now.
Oh, good.
That's
And
good.
if you cross them,
Mhm.
I'll let you know you crossed them.
Oh.
Right? And I'll be very verbal with that. And then I'll walk away.
Okay.
But I need you to know.
So you don't automatically just cut, like, I'm not doing this.
I used to.
Mm.
Right? And then they kept on coming back. So now they were
You're going to get the Sevieux.
Right. They wanted to get the Sevieux. Now, I may follow you to your house. Honestly.
Because you're gonna hear
And
me.
you might hear me.
Why is Ingrid at my door?
A little story about with
You gotta
that.
make your point.
Exactly. I want to make my
And I'm not
point.
done yet.
And then I was like, go with God. And then I would leave. That's it.
But you're gonna be heard.
I'm going to be heard.
I like that.
So you find that this age is the maturity is there,
It's different.
and it's like
It's
standing your
different.
ground,
That's it.
not holding your tongue. And we talked about in another episode about shining and not dulling
Not dimming your light,
dimming your
right.
light. Do you
Right.
find that now that as this mature age that you're like stepping into yourself, you're not dimming yourself, you're not holding your tongue, you're gonna speak your truth?
I'm still kind of like you, Yo-Yo.
Oh,
I'm still
sure.
like kind of like I'm not gonna do this with you, and I'll
Mm.
walk away.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of still
Do you
like
dim
that.
your light? Like when you walk into a room, if you feel like it's too much, do you kind of, or are you like, this is
Nah,
you don't
nah,
dim your
I
light?
don't dim
Okay.
my light.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
either. I might turn up a little
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. I used to
if I'm with that
feel
with my crew, forget it.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, you on 10.
You
You
know,
on
the entourage.
Right.
Yes, yes.
Like, get the wind. My hair's blowing.
So do
What
y'all,
about you, Ingrid?
Honestly, the last 2.5 years,
Uh-huh.
I'm going places alone.
oh.
Really?
And I really enjoy
It's
it.
the solo,
I
solo.
really enjoy I vacation alone.
There you go.
Really?
I go to
Yes.
restaurants alone.
Wow.
Yes.
Right?
You
I'll go
just
to-
started doing that? Or you,
About 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Wow.
Because a lot of my friends majority of my girlfriends are married
Right.
or moved away.
Right.
And all my
Okay.
cousins
Mhm.
are married.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe a couple of male cousins, they think, I'm one of them.
right.
I go out by myself.
Okay.
Really?
Right? And I
Beautiful.
enjoy it.
That's
Yeah.
I
good.
really do because I drive myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to wait on anyone.
There you
Right.
go.
I come in. I'm usually the life to party at certain points, right?
Right.
And I go out.
Okay.
I leave,
Mhm.
and I love it. I don't
That's
get.
it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell these ladies they're not drinking the sauce.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
I
I really love
know.
having a partner in my life.
I
You
do
know.
too.
I would love that myself, but if it
And-
doesn't come, it doesn't come. It's not
Well,
going
I'm
to
just
stop.
saying,
You gotta keep it
sometimes you
moving,
can't
right?
look
Yeah.
at your age group. That's the problem.
Talk about it. Talk
You
about
know, I mean, seriously, I'm accidentally seeing someone who's much younger than I am.
Mhm.
And that was very accidental. Well, I lied about my age, saying I was younger. He lied about his age, saying he was older.
Yeah, I made it happen.
And then as we were getting to know each other and starting to feel serious, he suddenly said, I have to tell you something. I said, what? He said, I didn't tell you the truth about my age. And I
and
was
then
like,
you said,
okay, I didn't tell you the truth about my age.
Right.
And
Agreed.
so we
Yeah.
both then came clean with
Okay.
our ages, and I was going to fall on the floor
Mhm.
because he was much younger than I thought.
Mhm.
And then he was like, "You're that old, really?"
Right.
I'm like, "Yeah, I am." You
right.
want to see my driver's license?
Right.
So he said, "But listen, I care about you.
If it fits,
and
Right.
it fits.
I don't care what your age is."
Right.
I said,
Yes.
"Okay, it's going to take me a minute to get my mind around
Right.
this, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's go
I
with
Would
it."
you
think
date younger?
I have.
There you go.
I have.
See?
And,
Well, let's talk about that. Relationships
Yeah.
after 40.
All right. My most recent,
Right.
right? Yeah, most recent serious relationship.
Yeah.
I was engaged this past summer.
Oh,
Yes, I
wow.
was.
Okay.
I
So
was
it got
engaged.
serious.
Serious really quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really quick. But he lived in London.
Okay.
Okay.
And when you don't know, you don't know.
Yes.
Right?
This is true.
Yeah. So we met up in his country in Grenada
Okay.
twice this year. His father passed away, and I went to the funeral with him.
Mm.
And then we went for a carnival in Grenada to plan our wedding for next year.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Total disaster.
Oh.
Total disaster. Put it this way, he ended up taking my passport and my phone, and padlocking me inside
No.
the
No.
Airbnb. Yes, it did.
Oh,
So-
Do we
honey,
need to go
this is
see
a
him?
drama.
Do we need to
I
go
have
see him?
stories. I have stories, guys.
Because we
Oh
can go
my
see him.
goodness.
Oh.
Anyhow, I was able to escape. by
Thank
the grace
God.
of God,
Yes.
and that was it for me. That
I
was it.
see.
So
Was this through a dating app? How did you meet?
I met him through Facebook,
Oh.
Okay.
right? Yet I knew his family
Huh.
for
Oh.
years.
Wow.
So you felt
So I felt
comfortable,
comfortable.
right?
Yeah.
Right, for years,
Hmm.
and it was very
That's why.
right.
Shocking.
The side of him
Yeah,
Right.
You didn't know.
I didn't know,
Yeah.
Yes.
yet I did ask God right?
Mm-hmm.
One night I was there and I said, if he's not the man for me, because
Show it.
show him. And he showed me the
There you
next day.
go.
He didn't pause. God said, I'm going to show
Let
you.
me tell
Give you
you,
everything.
God
That
works,
will
though.
answer.
I have
Do
to
not
tell you,
say
That's so
that.
crazy.
I
The
Do
same
not
thing you
ask
said,
that.
I asked
because-
and God revealed.
Yeah.
I tell you
God will
something that
answer.
is so true because I really had no idea how this partner of mine would be with me having a major surgery recently. I was blown away.
Mhm.
He showed up. He stayed in touch with my family.
Mm-hmm.
I totally was speechless at how he really showed up for me. Really.
And did
You
you
were-
ask? Did you ask of that spiritual?
I
you
did. And what we've always known between us, which I think is, I had been married before and he had passed. I've always felt like this was my husband sending him to me.
Oh,
I always felt from the very beginning when I first met him that we have a divine connection in some way.
Right.
And after we've been dating or seeing each other for 6 years, we both know that that's really the truth of it. It's somehow we're connected in some way.
no, when you know, you know.
You do.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
you know.
And like you said, you asked.
And that's
And
He
that's the
reveals.
key.
But you also have to keep in mind, you could be with someone
For years.
Well,
but you growing.
Yes.
I'm not the same. I'm not 25-year-old Keisha.
Right.
So
Facts.
we got to deal with 50-year-old Keisha
Yes.
different. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you could be with somebody, you can know their family.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes
You
you grow
outgrow
this
them.
way. Yeah, you outgrow them.
And I
Yes.
hear that a lot in marriages with couples.
Mhm.
You know, they just outgrow. Like to your point, you're at a certain age, and they say women tend to mature faster than men.
Right.
But I
Absolutely.
do have a girlfriend who is in a separation, and it was just those same things where she's elevating.
She's
and
not
he's
the
just
same.
she's like he's been the same.
Yeah.
And he's just she's like I just can't understand it.
Right.
No, he's plateaued. Like
Yeah.
there's no
And
more
he's
elevation.
Where
There's
he's
no
gonna
more.
be.
Right, and that's how certain people are.
Yeah, and
Right.
she's just like I cannot. And they have children together. And she's just like it just doesn't make sense
Right.
to her.
But when
And
do you
he's just
stay?
Oh,
Why do you stay or you go?
well, she was staying for her kids,
Mm.
and being younger, I heard a lot of people stay in relationships for their kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've worked with people who stayed in relationship for their children.
Yeah.
They might live in the same household and have separate burials.
Yes.
And I could never understand
Yes,
that.
yes,
But as I'm older, I'm like, wow, I get it.
yes. Sometimes it's financial,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
convenience.
Yep.
I've been working at my job for 40 years.
Yeah.
I got to stay here until I'm retired. Whatever it is.
I would-
Also, too,
What-
don't you think it's life expectations? Like, what do you really, when you were younger and maybe when you met this person, what did I expect? And sometimes if we think that the man is going to give us whatever our expectation is, instead of seeking it from ourselves, that's where I think we
Well, I
suddenly-
think-
we wake up to that.
Well, I think that's what mature 40 plus women now think.
Yep.
When you're 20, that mindset is not
Not
there.
at all. You're
No.
still trying to figure out who you are,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And then, like I had twin girls at 29,
Wow.
and they gave me the reason to leave my
Right.
husband.
Really?
Wow.
Right? They kind of saved me,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I will never be an advocate to stay in a marriage or a relationship for your kids.
Right.
Because the one thing I know is those kids will leave you.
Yes.
Right? And then you're going to look at him and he's going to look at you and you're going to figure
It's
out
true.
why we're here.
And sometimes the kids will say, "Why are you
Or you still-
staying?
Right.
Why
My
are
kids
you
said it.
with
Yeah.
him? You don't even
Yeah.
sleep in the
Sure.
same bed together."
And they
you know?
can feel the energy
Yes.
that's not there for you.
Right.
Right.
And if you don't have that, and I tell you something, the soul connection
Mhm.
is powerful.
Now we know that. Girl.
Yes,
Now
yes.
we know that, right?
So that brings me to another thing because I'm jumping all over the place.
Jump,
There's this
girl.
thing called now lavender marriages. Have you heard of it?
Tell
I've
her.
heard.
Oh, wow.
There's this TikToker I follow,
Yes.
and I want to marry him. I want to
So
I
let
wanna
me
marry him.
educate our audience about lavender. So back in the day, I think they were called mustache marriages.
Oh my God.
That's when you marry your gay BFF.
Yes.
Mm.
So gay men, for whatever reason, will
Wow.
decide that, you know what, I want to marry, and I'll probably marry my girlfriend, who's a
Right,
really
right.
good friend with me, and maybe I want to have
But
children.
why are they doing this? Is it for financial reasons?
I
Why do you
think
have
it's
to
for. I
marry
think
your
it's for.
gay
I think it's for
BFF?
companionship too, and then also maybe they made a pact. If I don't marry within a certain age, can we marry each other? Maybe I want to have.
Are
kids.
they having kids with each other?
Some are.
Really?
and they're living their separate lives.
I was gonna ask you,
Yeah,
how does that work?
they're living their separate
Oh,
lives.
okay, so
and
they may want kids and they don't have
Right.
anybody and they can't afford.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
And that's called a lavender.
They're calling it on social media. They're calling it lavender marriages.
Is it only?
Okay.
Wait, I think Ingrid
Yes.
wants to say
No,
something.
No, think about it. I mean, I see you looking, but think about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You put on an outfit on, and your lavender husband says you look awesome.
You're looking
And
good.
he's
Yeah.
not saying, "Come on, hurry up, let's
Right.
go."
Right.
All right.
He knows what to wear too.
He knows
He's
what
dressed.
to wear. You know, he knows what gifts to buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Y'all
fixing
can
my
binge
lace front.
watch TV.
So wait, these
Yeah,
people,
girl.
all right,
I can't do
in this
that.
lavender, I don't think I can do
Yeah.
that.
I'm sorry. I see
Wait.
the benefit. I
Yeah.
really do.
But wait,
And
let me
a
ask
lot
you
of
this.
it- Wait.
This man who acts feminine and he's all flamboyant as
It's
you,
not
you're
all-
gonna
it's
sit
not
with
all-
him and
You see,
have
that's a
baby.
stereotype now.
Right.
All right, you're right.
Not
you're
all
right.
of them
Right.
are
Are
like that.
flamboyant.
Right,
Yes.
you go after the one who is your gay best friend, right? Or your
You
gay
know
friend.
each other.
And at the end of the day, it's just your sexuality. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
different.
He likes
But
this
you
and
said
like
having kids.
because they
They're
was
gonna
some-
sleep together.
Well,
If-
how else you want to unless you do
Yeah,
that?
but you knew that he slept with Billy over here, and now you get in my bed.
It's to
Well,
each his own. I already
right.
have kids, so that wouldn't be
Yeah.
an issue.
Right, right.
But I understand. I call that the soft life.
Yes.
I
But
call
you
that the
guys
soft
are
life.
living
okay.
separate lives.
You-
Like you're.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes.
I've heard of people doing this for like benefits, like
Health benefits.
healthcare. Like
Yes.
my friend can't get healthcare, so
Right.
if I marry him, I
Right.
can share my benefits.
Yeah.
I've heard
But
of that.
Right. But this is companionship. Because let's
Yes.
face it, we all talk about it that as much as we can do things independently, because women are making their own money and making their own,
You still need
you
a man.
still not
Not married.
even necessarily a man. You still need companionship. You know, you can't like live in a silo and say that I'm just gonna live in this cave by myself.
right.
Because I think that's the fastest way to death. I think as human beings, we want to connect with someone.
Definitely.
So whether it's your gay best friend or your gay female friend, because they have women too who are living in communities with one another,
That's true.
and they find that women who live with people
Mhm.
also live longer.